Hi, good afternoon. It's just after 4 o'clock on December 13th, 2022, 12 days before Christmas. I call the meeting of the Bay County Commission to order. Please take the roll.
Fox. Here. Krieger.
Yes.
Bigot.
Here.
Coonan.
Here.
Red. Here. Johnson.
Here.
Herrick.
Here. Please stand for the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord, we ask that you bless this session of the Board of Commissioners this day, and that you lead and guide this board in the decisions made so that all citizens in this community will benefit. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing on the agenda will be the minutes of 11/15/22.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There's going to be two changes on the agenda. One is an additional. That would be resolution number 2022-282. It'll be under the Board of Commissioners. It's a late addition for the Chief Defense Attorney from the Prosecutor's Office. Pardon me?
There's another one.
Go ahead, we're good, we can do that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And the other is just a clarification on resolution number 2022-276 is in the adjustments for B camps and collective bargaining agreement. And there's a little mistake made, and I think it's pointed out on there.
I'll move it.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that's the addition, the change, and we'll move on to citizen input. If there's anyone from the audience that'd like to come before the commission, now would be the time.
Keith Markstrom, 1383 North Jones Road. Still honored to serve as the president of Bay Veterans Foundation. I'm here today just to give you a brief update on our project, but also to extend appreciation and thanks to you commissioners who have supported us through this past few years, and thank you for your service to the community and the county. It's with mixed feelings, I'm sure, that all of us feel. Would love to see some of you remain, but you know, the community spoke. As far as our building, I think you're all aware that we were denied our application to the Community Foundation. We're still working to secure funding because we had to put the second building on hold until we can get secured financing. But that hasn't stopped us. We're expecting to get our occupancy permit within the next 2 weeks. One of the holdups was the double doors inside the building, for those of you who have been in there, did not meet ADA code. So that was a $8,000 expense that we had not anticipated. But last week, Friday, we had a challenge grant of $4,000. I'm happy to say today we raised the other $4,000 so that we can take care of that. And that's necessary before we can get the occupancy permit. So we had been invited some time ago to provide a class for the kids at the East High School. For those of you who aren't aware, that's the alternative high school. We've had 15 kids that have been assigned. Tomorrow will be our 4th session. We had 2 orientation sessions, but we had to look outwards because we can't have the kids in the shop area until we get occupancy. So last week we took them to the Edson, and there were 9, and they were very impressed. Several had expressed interest in serving in the military. I'm not so sure that's their desire now after seeing that tin can. But tomorrow we go to Dresco Machine Company so that they can see fabrication in the works, water jet and mill work and so on and so forth. They have a 2-week hiatus, and then they'll be back with us, and hopefully by then we can start to do some hands-on woodworking activities. We've been asked to do career exploration and basic hand-on woodworking. So I just want to bring you up to date, tell you where we're at. I think of the 1.2 million that we finally settled on, we've raised over 900,000. I expect we'll have a couple of nice grants at the end of the year, hopefully, and we'll proceed. So just want to thank each one of you for your service and the administration. We do have based on your resolution on September 30th, we have some communication going back and forth with administration and council for the application of the ARPA funds. We got a couple of little minor things that I'm sure that we'll be able to work out. So, but thank you very much.
Anyone else? Okay then. Moving on to petitions and communications. Our first presentation is the Patriot Award presented to County Executive Jim Barcia. We need a motion to receive this first.
So moved. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Barcia, I think you should stand up, please. Sir, you can come up here, you can stay back there, be wherever you want to be.
Mr. Barcia, let's just stand at ease for a second. I put my card by your desk. I'm Paul DeSander. Yes, all the DeSanders are relations, so don't ask me that, good or bad, they are all relation, okay? I'm here today to represent Department of Defense Employer Support for Guard and Reserve. We're here today to present a prestigious award to one of your members. He already knows what his name is, Jim Barcia. And why is this prestigious? Because the only way you can receive this award, of all the awards Jim has, I know we don't have this one, because the only way you can get it is being nominated by a service member. So it wasn't somebody high up in his chain of command. It came from down in the troop beat land. So we're going to give that award to him in a second. But on my right is Dr. Bart Berger. He's our ombudsman for the state of Michigan in our area. And he's going to give you just a short overview about what ESGR is. I'm not going to kill you by PowerPoint. It's only like 2 slides, I guarantee you. Dr. Berger?
Thank you, Sergeant Major. I wanted to comment on a remark earlier in the proceedings about the USS Edson. When I was in the Navy back in the late 70s, I served on the USS Forrest Sherman, the sister ship of the Edson, and I can assure your young folks in this community that the U.S. Navy provides much better accommodations today than represented by the USS Edson. But also in the 70s, we realized that we were moving into an era of an all-volunteer force. And at that time, the chairman of General Motors, recently retired, stood up as a civilian leader of business and said that this is not going to work unless we sustain recognition for the fact that this is a sacrifice not only for our men and women in the Reserve and Guard, but those in leadership positions, in government, and in business that need to accommodate the periodic absence of key employees. And we've tested that in the last 21 years beyond what anyone ever suspected, and to date it has held. We have young men and women who volunteer to serve, and we have leaders in our community that support that effort, because without that we would be back in a draft situation. We'd be looking at a much different situation than we are today. So the fact that this award and the various programs that are provided are supported to the degree that they are in our communities, this has been a success. And the award that we present today, again, as the Sergeant Major pointed out, it is only achieved by the nomination of a service member, so it comes from a very sincere and very personal place.
So this is some of the things we do. I'm not going to go over them. This particular brief right now is a yellow ribbon brief that we give all soldiers before they deploy. So you have a unit that's deploying right now in Bay City out on Weiler Road. They're down at Fort Bliss right now for their train up. They ship out the first of the year. That's a Bravo company. Second of the 337th Combat Service Battalion, and they're shipping out. And we have an award by one of their persons, one of their soldiers who made this recommendation. So one of the things we're going to do on our employment initiatives, because we have no active bases here in Michigan, somehow we got to be able to educate our employees and our civilian about what is the military, how relevant is the Guard and Reserve to our total force. I'm here to tell you that without the Guard and Reserve, our active component probably couldn't deploy for a very long time, because about 90% of logistics is in our Army Reserve. And about a third, up to maybe half, of our combat arms is in a Guard. And that doesn't include our Marine Reserve, our Coast Guard Reserve, our Air Guard, our Air Reserve, all 7 of them. So we need them to have an effective force, a show of force. Hopefully you never put them to work too much in the service. We get into employment initiatives, not as much anymore. And this is the biggest thing that we got that we're here for today, this last slide, Patriot Award. So above and beyond awards, Profano Award, we're working on them right now. Our companies was nominated to National for the best company in the country. We get a chance to vote on those companies, and we're in the middle of that process right now. Above and beyond awards, an example of that, somebody might be going to be deployed, and somebody says, okay, well, your loved one is gone, we're going to make sure your sidewalks are shoveled, your grass is cut, you need to go get groceries, we're going to take care of you while your loved one is gone. So that would be a good example of above and beyond award. But without further ado, we're going to get into this award. Bart, over to your back, you have the award there. Do you have a pin? Could you grab that? And Mr. Barcia, could you step on front up here, please? Dr. Piechner, could you go right in front of that screen, right over there, sir? Right over there. I'm directing you now, Mr. Barcia. Right over there. So the award is going to be presented to Jim Barcia. It's presented by Captain Ryan J. Gale, Company H, 237 Service Support on 2510 East Wilder Road, Bay City. And he says, please send the award to the SGR State Chairman for presentation. Mr. Barcia, Tiffany Jerry, Director of HR, and the entire Bay County Board of Commissioners have been very supportive, understanding of my military service. I am currently on a second deployment while being with the county, and they have been very supportive in terms of allowing me to use my sick leave, vacation time, away from to provide my benefits. In addition, my wife is also employed by county, where she was able to flex time, spend it with me prior to deployment while not being required to use her time off. Mr. Barcia, all the service he's done for us, his whole adult life, from representative for the state, to state senator, a representative in Congress, and now stepping down to serve on our board right here in Bay County, is a prestigious event. And I can't wait to present this award. So, Mr. Piechner, I would very much like you to present this award to Jim Barcia.
Sir, we are very grateful for your support for our National Guard and your service forces and also your input. We need that pin. If I try to pin it on you, I'm going to stick one to it.
Must be a
And yes, we got to put that pin on you, because you are now recognized by the Department of Defense as a patriot of our service. All the service you did, we are now finally recognizing you as one of our patriots. Jim, thank you very much.
Thank you enough for this recognition for Bay County, which I will accept as the county executive.
all of the people in this room, visitors tonight, the incoming members of the board, all of our past and current board members have been pro-veteran the entire, for decades and decades. All the county officials I've ever known and had the pleasure to work with. So I will accept this on behalf of Bay County for all of the support that Bay County has given our active military and reserve and guard members, men and women who have fought proudly to keep democracy and our American way of life around the world secure. And Ryan Gale, who nominated me, is a beloved member of our team here, is our Director of Central Dispatch in 911. That's one of the most critical roles in terms of protecting the residents of Bay County. And now I understand he's off for 1 year.
We don't go say where we're going. Somewhere very happy.
I think I'm going to read it.
But yeah,
I know you don't care.
anxiously awaiting his return. We have a good guy, as an interim director, doing an outstanding job. But we miss Ryan and we pray for his safe return to his family and back to the job in Bay County. And Paul, you and I go back a long time. For those of you in the audience who haven't met Paul, and I just met Mark today, I'm sure you have a distinguished history also that Paul does advocating on behalf of veterans throughout the region. Saginaw County natives, but this is no stranger to our veterans in 7 or 8 counties and probably around the state as well, Paul. So thank you for this recognition for Bay County. You might have my name on it, but it's to Bay County for our support of our reserve and guard veterans, and as you know, Keith and what he's doing, and of course I'm very proud that we were the second county in the state of Michigan to create a Bay County Department of Veterans Affairs. And Paul, you saw the previous meeting before this for 1 hour. Our veterans take their agenda and their work very seriously. Chairman, over there's one right there, the chairman of our Veterans Committee. So, and I just want to thank you guys for this recognition for Bay County. I'll accept it.
And Jim, we have one other thing we got to do before we step down. Dr. Berger, can you read this? So, Mr. Chairman, we're going to need you to come down here for a second.
Well, Sergeant Major's retrieving our pen, or stealing one.
I don't know what you did with it.
Do you need, does it matter? That's black.
Here's yours.
Okay.
This is kind of the next step up the ladder in the sense of recognition for the way that this august body supports its Guard and Reserve members. And we would like to obtain your signature on this document, which can be displayed in your around your building or around your Veterans Affairs office, and as a sign of your commitment to, and we have to have a lawyer read that. We have before you put it.
So you can put your name next to the Secretary of Defense on this document. And the bottom line is, of all these bullets, we will continually recognize, support our country's service members and their families in peace, in crisis, and in war. You agree with that?
I agree with that.
So if we can, we have you sit right over here. I'll get your picture. Stand right here. We'll get a picture of Dr. Berger. And Jim, come on up here too, sir. Get right in between there. Don't do it yet.
Okay, tell me when. I'm still doing it, but
Okay, you're still done. Okay, here we go. Go ahead.
remember what my name is.
Very good. Round of applause for these gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes our presentation. I'll put this in the safekeeping of Mr. Barcia.
Thank you.
Mr. Pierce. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you. You guys are great. Okay, next up, supposed to be the Pony League, but nobody's here for the Pony League. So in lieu of the Pony League, we're going to present, next presentation will be to our administrative assistant, or what can we call you besides that? She's not a secretary.
Board coordinator.
Board coordinator. So this is not, actually, we see it's not on here, but it's here. So you just want to sit there while we read this, or you want to stand up, or what do you want to do? You sit? Okay. You're welcome. You can do that. I'm going to try to read this, and hopefully I won't, it's one of those misty things, she's been around here.
Am I going to try?
I might.
Oh.
Okay. By the Bay County Board of Commissioners, 12/13/2022. Whereas Deanne Berger was hired to work for the Bay County Probate Court on 12/6/1970, and whereas in 1977, she was appointed to the position of Administrative Secretary for the County Administrator Francis Bud Boisine, and whereas shortly following the adoption of Act 139, Deanne began to work for the Bay County Board of Commissioners, at which time consisted of 21 commissioners, and whereas due to redistricting over the years, the number of commissioners was eventually reduced to 7, which is the structure of the board as it exists in Bay County today. And whereas throughout the many drastic changes to the board, one thing remained constant. Deanne Berger was at the helm, coordinating the office of elected commissioners and its many responsibilities for the citizens of Bay County. And whereas a very gifted writer, Deanne spent countless hours researching and drafting board resolutions and correspondence. Resolutions appropriately pay tribute to deserving individuals, agencies, public officials, athletic teams, vital community and state causes, and other important issues. Deanne always undertook these important research tasks seriously, and her great attention to detail resulted in a work product that received great praise and respect. And whereas there were always 2 chairs located in front of Deanne's desk, frequently occupied by a current or former commissioner, an elected official, a troubled constituent looking for a resolution to his problem, or a county employee seeking to bounce ideas off of a very knowledgeable board coordinator. No matter how busy Deanne might be when trying to meet a strict agenda deadline, her attention was given to the occupants of those 2 chairs. As an added bonus, Deanne always made sure the pretzel and candy jars were kept filled for her visitors. And whereas, after so many years of service and changes in methods of preserving records, Deanne literally became Bay County's unofficial historian. Deanne spent countless hours researching past board records, which often included wading through dusty boxes held in storage, old binders, and files, and ultimately electronic media. And whereas, to say that Deanne was extremely dedicated to Bay County government, the Board of Commissioners, and the constituents of Bay County would be an understatement. Not a day went by that Deanne was not on duty to receive and respond to a telephone call or an email. The wheels were always in motion to resolve whatever issue was at hand or whatever fire needed to be extinguished. Therefore, be it resolved that the Bay County Board of Commissioners and the Bay County Executive extend their sincere appreciation and thanks to Deanne C. Berger for her 52 years of dedicated service to Bay County and its constituents, and express their best wishes that Deanne enjoy retirement with her husband Mark and their niece Wendy and family. May Deanne have countless hours playing in the dirt in her lovely garden and having morning coffee with her husband backyard while enjoying all the good things in life which she richly deserves. Signed, all of us, Board of Commissioners. Everybody, pause. This would be about our last night together. There you go.
I'm not a commissioner yet. Can I? You.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Nothing the same without, I know Bob and you both had long histories with Bay County and always such an outgoing, warm, and friendly, and helpful personality. And we're going to miss you.
No nonsense, no nonsense.
Thank you for all you've done for Bay County, and I know we used to interact regularly since I was
We go way
state
back.
legislator.
Yeah.
So, thank you for your
What happens when you're here 52 years? Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Don't worry, Deanne, we'll still call all the time.
She's changing it.
No, very well.
We're going to skip that.
So we need a motion to receive that.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And there should be no one. I'm just still at a loss for words. You are the, she's like the curator of the building, you know, like you're always going to think like, feels like she's going to be here, but she's not. The only phone call away, that, and nobody will forget that either. Okay, that was kind of fun. Let's go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I didn't cry. Good.
We move on to the City of Bay City application for industrial facilities, tax exemption district and certificate from Mersen USA, GS Corporation, Bay City, Michigan.
So moved.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we need a motion to receive Connie Barber's resignation for the Arenac
Support.
Behavioral Health Authority. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I think we were.
Under appointments, Van Digby, request for appointment to the Bay County Veterans Affairs Committee.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And a motion that's to receive it, and we need a motion to confirm.
Make motion, confirm it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, we got support.
Support.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, request for appointments to the Bay County Department on Aging Advisory Committee. First is to receive Doug DeWald, Sally Kaminsky, Mary Donnelly in the 6th District, and Janine Kravitz at large. Motion received would be in order.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next would be a motion to appoint.
So moved.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're off to reports and resolutions, Ways and Means. Commissioner Fox.
All right. Resolution number 2022-247 to rescind motion number 22-23 appropriating $150,000 in ARPA funding for a broadband study.
So moved.
I move this resolution.
So support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-248, appropriation of $110,000 in ARPA funding to the Linwood Scenic Access Site improvements. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-249, the appointment of Crystal Gonzalez and Weston Prince to the 401K and 457 committees. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-250, the 2023, remountation, grant documentation and contracts, and I know I ruined that word. You can all laugh out loud, it's okay.
Remonumentation.
I blew it out of the water, but I moved the resolution.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-251, the vendor agreements for the community corrections. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-252, the Tyler Technology Software updates for 911. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-253, the acceptance of the grant funding for the Health Department. I move this resolution. Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-254, the allocation of $9 million in ARPA funding for the Community Health and Human Services Center purchase and renovation. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-255, the acceptance of the medical marijuana grant. I move this resolution.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-256, the Congregate Nutrition Services Grant. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-257, the Monitor Township DDA one-time tax capture of $50,000. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-258, the agreement with the Michigan Fair Contracting Center. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-259, the MSU Extension Agreement of Services. I move this resolution.
Support?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-260, the DMC software upgrade. I move this resolution.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-261, the DMC Statement of Work to move legacy date for public safety records to the decommissioned expired hardware. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-262, the 2023 budgeted maintenance expenses for finance in the ISD. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-263, the revised travel policy. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-264, the employees' health care contribution rates. I move this resolution.
Support. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-265, the Delta Dental contract. I move this resolution.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-266, the covenant agreement. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-267, the Blue Cross Blue Shield schedule. I move this resolution.
Support. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-268, the general fund payables. I move this resolution.
Support?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-269, the 2023 Bay County budget. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. Commissioner Berger.
I have an amendment that I made last time at the page 59. I had the page a minute ago. It's the number 20 in the budget. It's about the per diem pay. And we need to add one more committee.
The retirement board.
Retirement board, yes. So I would amend my resolution to include the retirement board to eliminate per diem for the commissioners.
And I'll support that.
Any discussion?
Yeah. So I am not in favor of amending the budget for this. I think that we need to spend our time discussing and worrying about greater impact to the budget. We're using, it looks like roughly 35% of the general fund for expenditures this year. This, we're talking in the last 5 years, a low of $3,600 in per diem and a high of $4,500, which represents 0.0278% of the budget. And members of this board have benefited from this for years, so I just don't think it's in our best interest to spend our time with something as small as that, little impact on the budget.
Commissioner Krieger.
So I've spent the last 18 years listening to Commissioner Begic express his concerns over the per diems. And I guess after 18 years, he wore me down. That's one of my main reasons to give him what he wants, seeing that he'll probably be chair next year. So what you see is what you get.
I have a question with, you know, what we did in October was like with the old Bob job, as we said, would let the new commission decide. Would it be wrong to like have a compensation committee when the new board comes in and say, are these per diems okay, rather than us make the decision today? So, I mean, would you be opposed to that, Commissioner Begic?
No, we're talking about board rules and having a committee to take a look at board rules.
With this
Could be part of it.
With this being part of it.
Yeah.
Would you be opposed to that?
No.
Okay. Commissioner Connie.
I'm opposed to it. I think we should address what's on the agenda today for the budget. Now, I don't disagree with putting together a committee, and you need to look at health care too. I was going to bring up health care. I always do every year. We're all part-time. Part-time people here at the county do not get health care. But 7 of us get health care. We're part-timers. Let's not BS anybody. So, put together a committee in the first of the year, look at health care. But no, we need to vote on this particular, because we discussed it last week. And I think we should discuss it. We should vote on it at this time. And next year, whenever the new commissioners take office, let them look at a policy or whatever pay and benefits for the employee or for the commissioners. But I think they should look at, one, you're probably going to be the chairman. I think you need to take a strong look at health care, because we're not full-time. You can't be full-time. We all got full-time jobs. So how can you be full-time?
It's amazing. All this stuff was okay for the last X number of years. Now it's an issue. I haven't seen anybody turn any per diems back in the last year that or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years that are opposed to them today. There's no problem if all we have to do is, if we want to vote and have a committee look at it, is you vote no, and then you bring it back and just vote on the budget itself. Just vote the budget.
I call the question.
No. You know what? Last week you said we discussed it. We did not discuss it. We motioned it, we seconded it, and we voted. There was no discussion. You said we're open for discussion. So we are open for discussion. So Commissioner Begic, it was his idea, and he said he was not opposed to the idea.
So I would point out he called the question, so we have to take a 2/3 vote to call the question, which means we don't debate anymore. So
okay,
that's what we need to do right now. We can't debate anymore until we vote either 2/3 for or against. So we need to call the question. Well, first of all, we have to call a question to close discussion, and we need a 2/3 vote to do that. So
to close it.
We don't have 2/3 here. We only have 7 people.
We have a parliamentarian right here.
It's 2/3 of the commissioners that are present. You need 2/3 vote to call the question in order to stop open debate.
The 2/3 have to stop debate?
Correct. The motion to call the question has to pass by 2/3 vote in order to stop the debate.
Fox?
No.
Krieger?
Yes.
Begic?
no.
Coonan?
Yes.
Radke?
No.
Johnson?
No.
Herrick?
No.
All right, so that's 2 yeses, 5 noes.
Commissioner Begic.
Now we're back to debate.
Yes.
So there's other things. I mean, there's defined benefit programs. How many people have defined benefits nowadays? That's the thing of the past. The healthcare thing I know is a healthcare thing, defining if we're full-time employers or not. That may be a federal issue that we need a ruling on. We've talked about that before. I don't think we should have health benefits either. And the per diem is a small part of it. You know, it's a token, like you say, it's a small part of the money, but it's the perception of the public that we are living high on the hog, which we probably aren't, but, I mean, our salaries aren't that great, but, and we haven't raised our salaries in the last 18 years that I've been here.
Should be added as well.
So, just want to point out all those things that we have not done a lot of things to enrich ourselves.
Correct.
But it's more of a principle thing. So that's why I would like to vote on it.
Anyone else? Commissioner Kuhn.
Well, part-time people get pensions here. So we're part-time, we get pensions. We didn't create the rule. The rule was here when I got here 20 years ago. But part-time people do not, they get pensions, they don't get health care. And I think that's something you'll address next year. But you brought up the per diems. I just want to make your ride a little easier, and I'm going to support you on that.
Commissioner Fox.
I have a question. Part-time people commissioners do not automatically get a pension. You have to be here 10 years, is that not correct?
Everybody has to be here.
10 years is the vesting period, but you qualify to contribute toward the pension and participate in the pension program so long as you hit certain criteria of a certain number of hours worked.
So if you're here less than 10 years?
You are not vested in the pension system, that is correct.
That's correct.
Right, unless you hit that.
Correct.
Tiffany, maybe could you weigh in a little on some of the rules under the Fair Labor Standards Act?
Sure, for the health insurance?
No, well, I guess whatever, just, I know you're kind of an expert on this, and,
So historically,
labor.
with the Board of Commissioners, in 2010, the board passed a resolution indicating that they were part-time employees and that they were no longer be qualified for health care or the cash option stipend. Moving forward to when the ACA was instituted, the board passed a resolution saying that they were going to be treated as full-time employees because they are on call 24/7 and things of that nature, which allowed them to be eligible for health care while employed and the cash option. Going back, we did find in the 2015 board meeting, Commissioner Coonan had a motion to remove the cash option if they were required to take the health insurance, but that motion was defeated. So as of 1/1/2016, the commission is being treated as if they were full-time employees and receive the benefits of the health care or the cash option as such. It's certainly within the board's discretion, to create whatever policy they would like to do with the health care.
Yes, Commissioner.
I have a question. So in the last, I don't know if you have this data, but how many commissioners historically take advantage of health insurance on an annual basis?
So it depends. I mean, obviously, every couple of years, we have a difference in who makes up the commission, but there is generally, I would say, 1 to 3 commissioners on the board that do elect health insurance, and then all of the commissioners that don't elect health insurance receive the $1,800 stipend annually.
Okay. So here's where, so on the budget thing, if it's voted down, we could come back and pass it as a standalone budget like it came in, and then you could go, and then the object of that would be at the first year to create a committee to follow up and look at everything, and it'd be made up, we work with administration and figure out who would be qualified to do this. Commissioner.
I would point out, though, then that's 2 years before that takes effect. If we pass it after the first year, it can't affect us, so we'd have to wait 2 years for it to take effect.
It would affect the next year.
Next group coming in.
No,
it would not affect us.
It'd be next fall.
Right.
2 years.
No, 2 years. 2 years. The next elected group of officials, so it would be 25.
No.
Because you reset your budget every year, it's set forth in the budget, that's your opportunity to change that compensation schedule. You can't change your compensation schedule retroactively, but you can change it going forward as part of the regular budget process. The board's always allowed to set its compensation.
So it would just be 1 year.
Yeah. Well, so I just went through the training course with commissioners, and that was part of one of the topic points, that 2-year thing, so we'd have to get a ruling on that. The way I read it, you can't affect what you're going to be receiving. You have to wait for the next commissioners. That's what I read in that board book, that guidebook.
It can't be reduced.
Yeah.
It can't be reduced, but as part of your budget process, you set your own compensation on a yearly basis with the budget.
Yeah.
So it can be increased. It can't be reduced. That's why the board sets different compensation levels, for instance, for the county executive, the budget for the sheriff, all of the other elected officials cannot be reduced, but they can be increased at any point in time through the regular budget process. And we could absolutely go back and get a legal opinion on that for you, but I don't believe that you're prohibited during that term of increasing a salary, but you absolutely are prohibited during that term for reducing the salary. So you are making a determination. Yeah.
Okay, so a yes vote as in that added thing you put in about the per diems, a no vote, and we go back and we'd have to make another motion to pass the budget standalone, and then a committee would be formed at the first of the year. Commissioner Coonan, you're first.
I don't even know what you just said, but I think we're voting on this budget as it's presented. That's what we're going to do. What the board does next year is the board's business, but what we're doing today is our business.
Making a motion to amend the budget to exclude the per diems, is
No.
how I understand it?
To include to exclude, it's the way it's written here.
So if Vaughn wants to,
If you want to withdraw it, you can withdraw it.
yeah.
Yeah, there was an amendment to the budget, so we'd have to vote on the amendment first, I
Yes.
would imagine.
So are we going to vote on the amendment?
Sure.
I don't know. I didn't think anybody moved that. Did you move it?
Yeah. Moved and supported to amend it.
And that was to remove the per diem for retirement. board.
Sure. That's what's presented today.
Right.
That's what we're voting on right now.
Right, the amendment.
Yes.
Just so we're clear, what the amendment in the budget states is that the Board of Commissioners are excluded from receiving per diems, and it also included the Retirement Board as one of the boards that receives a $45 per meeting per diem. So those members of the Retirement Board that are not Board of Commissioner members would receive that per diem amount. But it specifically excludes the commissioners from receiving those per diem amounts if you sit on any of those boards.
Yeah.
That's what the language exclude and adding the retirement board, those two changes, that's what that effectuates.
In the previous conversation at the last meeting, the retirement board was not listed as well.
Correct. And I believe that the motion that was made was, and commissioners was stricken, and that actually didn't effectuate the intent that Commissioner Bigick was looking for. Rather, it should read exclude.
This board also has to set the compensation.
So we have to vote on, do we have to vote on the amendment first, or just one package?
I believe that he's moving to amend the budget at this point in time, so he can move to amend it. After the motion is done to amend, then you can vote on the amended package. Because there may be another, the problem is there may be another amendment.
Can I ask, the amendment that Commissioner Bigick stated was to add commissioners for the pension meetings, to exclude commissioners per diems for the pension meeting. That's the amendment that we're voting on right now.
It is to exclude commissioners per diems.
So this board has to set the compensation for the retirement board. The per diem has always been included. I believe it was on this list at one point. It must have been inadvertently removed from this list. Participants on the retirement board have received the per diem of $45. The language excluding commissioner, excluding was the word added to effectuate the intent of the last, at the committee meeting, but the retirement system was added because you have to set the compensation by the retirement ordinance. The retirement ordinance says that this board will set the compensation, and so that was added onto the list. So the effect is that commissioners will not be paid if they serve on the pension board, but either way, I hope that you address the retirement board's compensation on that board, because either way, you have to set the compensation. compensation.
Right. So this amendment does two things. It adds the retirement board, and it also excludes per diems for the Board of Commissioners for all of the boards listed.
So the wording in the board packet that we have has the excluding and Bay County employee retirement system, so it looks like this is included in the full thing, so I think we vote just for this. That's all we have to do. I don't think we have to do any amendments or anything.
Doesn't have a retirement board, does it?
Yes.
Yeah. Very bottom.
That retirement board in it.
Right, but this, at the last meeting, you moved to amend the budget
Yeah.
to remove certain words and commissioners. That did not effectuate your intent. This language that is in front of you is different than what you referred over to the full board the last time. So I do believe that this is a different amendment that you need to vote on. And you can vote to approve the budget with this amendment, but you have to move to include this specific language.
So I'll move that.
Again? You don't want to do it, you don't want to do it in January, eh?
No, too late.
I supported it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any more discussion? How's that? No? Okay. Go ahead.
Want to do,
Yeah.
do a roll?
Oh, wait, we got to do a roll call.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on.
We have to do it, yeah.
Okay. Krieger.
Yes.
Begay.
Yes.
Coonan.
Yes.
Radke.
Yes?
Johnson.
Yes.
Fox.
No.
Herrick.
No.
It's not right.
5 yeses, 2 noes.
Now we have to vote on the full thing?
Yes.
Now we have to vote on the full, with the amendment. I'll move that.
Support.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Begay.
Yes.
Coonan.
Yes.
Radke.
Yes?
Johnson.
Yes.
Fox.
No.
Krieger.
Yes.
Herrick.
No.
5 yeses, 2 noes.
Okay. On we go. Personnel and Human Services. Mr. Johnson.
All right. We'll start off with resolution number 2022-270, appropriation of ARPA funds, $40,000 for EV feasibility study. I move this resolution.
Support?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-271, creation of full-time animal services manager for the Bay County Animal Services and Adoption Center. I move this resolution.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-272, renewal agreements with nurse practitioner Tammy J. Hill and additional nurse practitioner. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-273, amendment to Bay County Freedom of Information Act procedures and guidelines. I move this resolution.
Support?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-274, renewal of property and liability insurance with Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, resolution number 2022-275, vacancies at 911 Central Dispatch, Department of Criminal Defense, Mosquito Control, and the Department on Aging. I move this resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-276, as amended, you have the paperwork for the Recreation Manager, Gypsy Moth Coordinator, reclassifications. I move this resolution.
Support?
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution number 2022-277, preliminary breathalyzer test officers, retention of fringe benefits and wages. I move this resolution.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And finally, resolution number 2022-278, creation of full-time typist clerk 3 for Animal Services and Adoption Center. I move this resolution.
Support.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, well, we got to go back to...
276?
Yeah, they said it's changed, it added 3 positions.
It's 3 positions. What was the third one? Let's go back. Well, we have 3 pieces. There we go. Oh, I apologize.
Do you have it?
Yep.
Okay. Now, read what they are.
Let's try it one more time. So we've got, let's go back to resolution number 2022-276 as amended to include reclassifications for the recreation manager, gypsy moth coordinator, criminal defense, corporation counsel, and the public defender. My apologies. Move this resolution.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right. And we are done. Thank you.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, from the Board of Commissioners, Commissioner Begic.
All right, resolution number 2022-279, report of the county executive for November, move to receive.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2022-281, the 2022 assessment roll from Hampton Township Drain, move to receive.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And then we have the extra 2022-282, the appointment of Michael Huber as Chief Defense Attorney in the Public Defender's Office. Move that resolution.
Support.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And there was one more you added at the end, and I can't find any.
I think that's it.
That was it,
That was
okay.
it, yeah. We're good. Thank you, Commissioner Begic. Anything from the county executive?
You know, I know it's been a lengthy and very productive last meeting of the Bay County Board of Commissioners for 2022 with the departure of Deanne and also the departure of 4 outstanding public servants, Commissioners Fox, Berger, Coonan, and Johnson. It's been a pleasure serving with each of you. Some a little longer, than others, but I know how dedicated you've been to Bay County and how seriously you have performed your responsibilities, and I consider all of you great friends, as everyone in Bay County does, and just want to thank you for your service to Bay County residents, and I think we've accomplished an awful lot in the last few years with our animal shelter millage being passed and with the improvements at Center Ridge Arms, and we could go on and on, about what we've accomplished together. But I want to thank you and say I look forward to continuing to see you. I will always consider you close friends, and I admire and respect the job you've done.
All right.
Chairman?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there any unfinished business? No unfinished business. Wait, not yet.
Yes, we do.
You're not unfinished yet. You are unfinished. Okay, go ahead.
Ask Mr. Chairman Thomas Herrick to step down. Immediately, I'll be here for you. Presented to Thomas and Herrick for outstanding leadership as chairman of the Bay County Board of Commissioners, 2022. Thank you very much.
Got it? Got it. All right.
It don't matter.
Okay. So here we go. So we need Commissioner Johnson and Commissioner Fox and Commissioner Krieger and Commissioner Coonan. Step forward, please. You can face that way. Don't look at, you have to look at me. So I'll just read this thing, and you're going to look that way, and It says, in appreciation, we'll insert name, Jamie Johnson, Kim Coonan, Marie Fox, and Ernie Krieger, for dedicated service to the citizens of Bay County. Marie as Jamie Johnson is the 7th District Commissioner. Ernie is the 2nd District Commissioner. Mr. Johnson. Great. Marie Fox is the 1st District Commissioner, and Commissioner Coonan as the 4th District. They got all the years, Commissioner Coonan started here in 2003, and Commissioner Krieger, I believe, in 2005. Yeah, so they're the two elder statesmen on the commission, and perseverance, you know. We always have good bodies, there's nothing wrong with that, you know, it's healthy. And they put a lot of their life in this building, you know, and up these stairs and down the elevators, and with Deanne and everybody. So they're surely going to be missed. And thank you to you guys, you know, just get your feet wet. What you accomplished in such a short time is amazing in itself, because I think, you know, you have a lot to say, and there's a lot of things that you brought out. It's nice to have some fresh legs on the commission, you know. It really is, you know, it's just different people and with different ideas, but it's never a bad thing. It's just not a bad thing, it's always a good thing. But thank you all, and away we go.
Oh, goodness.
I'm sorry.
All right, there we go.
All right. Commissioner Krieger, you have to stay. You get one more. You get one more. Now I'm on two, I guess. So this is for Representative Krieger for outstanding leadership as chairman of the Bay County Board of Commissioners in 2021. Because about his 3rd stint as a chairman, so we thank him because, you know, you keep doing what you're doing. You know, you guys are okay. You do a lot of service to everybody in Bay County, and everybody should be appreciative for all he's given. Like I said, all these people, everybody gives a lot, you know, and we give a lot, and we don't expect much back, but, you know, it's just a real good feeling sometimes, you know, and people would say, well, we all have people ask us, why do you keep doing this? And sometimes we ask ourselves, why do we keep doing it? but it's the people. It's the people. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all my new business. Any miscellaneous?
I do.
Oh, yes, sir.
So with all of these congratulations and stuff under miscellaneous, I'd just like to thank Bangor Township, Cucaulin, and Essexville when I first started for their trust in allowing me to have that 18 years of service. So I really appreciate that. That being said, I'm not going to be gone, and neither is Kim, because we're still planning to bring back our beach wellness program, which usually is the last weekend of June going into the 4th of July. So because of COVID, we weren't able to pull this off. The beach still needs to be addressed. We need to make sure that we've got equipment to be able to keep it clean. And so we will be back. Thank you.
Sounds good. Commissioner Coonan.
I would just like to, you know, I've been here 20 years, and it goes by fast. Bob and Deanne, and I mean, all the good people I worked with. You know, administration, but, you know, the rank and file. I see these people, and they do a tremendous job. You look at the county, the shape it's in financially, and what we do for people, it's amazing. And, you know, we're a small part of it, but we're part of it. And I've been blessed to know people over the last 20 years that I would have never known. And, you know, we did some things, and we got some good people. You know, I'm sure there's good people coming in as well. I don't know them all that well, but, you know, I just want to thank everybody because it's been a pleasure to get to know you all.
Commissioner Fox, you want to say anything? You're good.
I'm mostly good.
Okay.
No, I will say, this is not something I ever thought I would do in my life, ever. And I am grateful for the experience. I hope that my incoming person will advocate for and ensure that District 1 is represented here. They're a little further north, not in the thick of things and easily forgotten. So that has been my pleasure. And I have gotten to know people there and gotten to know people here that without this experience would have never happened. So I'm very grateful for all of that. So thank you, everybody.
Commissioner Johnson.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the people of Essexville, Hampton Township, and Merritt for the opportunity to be able to serve with these wonderful people. A lot of fun. It's been a real honor. Got a chance to meet some great people. And I tell people all the time when I have conversations with them that they can rest pretty well at night, that we have some really hardworking, brilliant people who do a lot of the work here and make sure that the county is running as smoothly as it is. So when people don't, I think the general public doesn't really have a realization of how much work goes into making sure that all the things just keep moving, and the dedicated people that they have. So it's been a great honor to work with a lot of them and to meet some new people too and work with them. Just amazing. So, oh, and one more thing. So Verellen's Lego tapes, they're robotics. I love the names because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So if you know anything about Star Wars and you happen to be watching this, if there's still 5 people watching, it's 5:15. They're Team the Younglings. They competed in the state championship this past Sunday, and they won they came in 6th in the robot run, and they came in 2nd for design at the state level. The Padawan group, which is the other name, they came in 16th in the robot run. Now, this is stacking on top of the fact that the week previous in Freeland at the Freeland High School tournament, they finished 1st and 2nd out of 36 teams that were there. So. And these are the younger kids that are coming up. I know we talked about some of the older robotics teams, but these are the Verellen kids. So a lot of that money that you allocated to try and get that robotics and that STEM area set up, you're going to have plenty of kids to fill it. And hopefully the people that are paying attention on Hay Bay City will make sure they hit this pretty hard, because these are the types of things that people take interest in, and it drives them to move their kids into these areas and get their kids into their schools. So, thank you.
Fourth graders are up and coming.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Okay, that was the last announcement. Hey, is there any need for a closed session?
Thankfully, no, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Signing off for the last time, right?
for my last motion, I move to adjourn. Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.